There's so much, I think, carryover from a physical standpoint when it comes to strength. Like, you know, you can't always control, obviously, the various aspects of your life, but you control how hard you're working.
After fighting through 2 career-ending sports injuries and an unforeseen personal life tragedy, Trey Lindykugel now demonstrates what true strength really is, as he now competes in professional weightlifting tournaments and has created his own brand in order to make positive light out of the adversity he has faced.
Very first practice, we're doing like a quarter speed drill. My shoulder totally pops out, and it's like I felt all the sutures just pop from the first surgery. And then just kind of slipped it back in, kept going, and then did it again about 20 minutes later. Did it again about another 20 minutes later. And then I was just like, man, this really sucks. So I finished that practice, went to the second one, and it was like 4 more times. And it got to the point where it was just like, it was stuck, I couldn't move it. So I reported like 2 weeks late, and then just spent all season just kind of rehabbing, sitting on the sideline.
How did that affect how you viewed the next season and your choice to be at the school where you were?
It was tough. It was definitely, it was tough because I'd never really like sat on the sideline. So, especially at new school, I'd never really been to, never kind of had an opportunity to like set my, initial precedence, I guess, as an athlete and a player. So it was tough. I would rehab for the first hour or two of practice, walk out, watch the rest. So there's really nothing I could do.
Did you ever get 100% from that?
No, so I was cleared like right at the beginning of spring ball. So we got to actually finally practice for that. That was super exciting until I actually like tried to run around and tried to go after the ball or whatever. Anytime I would raise my arm, I was like, man, it's really not the same as how it used to be. And I just kind of realized at that point that it was probably time to call it good, hang up the old helmet. And it was frustrating, but I just kind of realized maybe that was the best decision to make, just not going forward with it.
Sure. What happened your sophomore year as far as football?
I think it was right before sophomore year started. I talked to Coach G, talked to Coach Buckley, and just kind of figured that I would still have a role, and that's what I wanted to still be a part of the team. Obviously, that's what I signed up for. I wasn't gonna walk away from that. So it was as the equipment manager, which is not as glamorous as running around whacking people, but it was still cool.
Important, yeah.
It's kind of a way to stay a part of everything.
And I know junior year comes, you're still doing equipment manager stuff. Things happen, family tragedy. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I reported a little bit late because I was doing a big internship, strength and conditioning, kind of coaching.
In the summer?
Stuff, yeah, in the summer. So again, I reported late, which is not a huge deal, being the EQ guy. But I showed up maybe a week or two before school starts, kind of get back into the normal role and everything. And then it was really a weird thing. Like I got a call from one of my managers in Salem at a different job that I had. And it was just for covering a shift. So I came back, covered the shift that Friday night, and then my little brother told me that my dad just up and left. He was supposed to be moving, but my little brother went to a high school football game, came back. My dad just wasn't there. So instead of doing the football game here and working and stuff on Saturday, I spent the day trying to figure out where he was. Eventually called the cops, reported him missing, and then spent basically the next 48 hours just sitting around. And then on Monday, we got a call that they had found his body in the woods, and he had shot himself. So I just kind of was obviously figuring things out for a little while. I think it was probably halfway through that week, maybe I realized I was just not going to come back. Like for that semester, there was no way it was going to work out. I'm just catching up, and obviously I just want to make sure that I was kind of in the right headspace to come back.
Yeah. Like walking away from that, was the school supportive of that decision?
Yeah, so I emailed my professors as soon as I kind of figured everything out. Some I kind of disclosed a little bit more information than others. They were all super understanding and tried to do everything they could to help me out. Coach Buckley also kind of got me set up just to get all the paperwork and stuff processed for taking a leave of absence. So it took a few weeks, and I had to pay a little bit of money to the school because of refunds and different things, but it worked out.
So then I know you talked about working out a lot in that period of time. Do you think that came out of the energy of just being in the dark place and trying to work your way into it?
Yeah, I mean, I've really liked to work out. I mean, as long as since I've really started. So it all started with the football. And once I realized I wasn't going to be able to play football, I kind of made the switch. Like, that was what I realized I really missed, was being able to train. It was all the off-season stuff that I really liked. So something I did already, and it was something my dad and I did together. So it was just like, that's what I had to keep going, and I wasn't just going to stop that.
What has that translated into now? I know you're big on lifting now, and you're doing competitions and everything. So can you talk about how that driving force has been able to speak into your life today?
Yeah, so I compete in powerlifting now. So I usually do a meet about every 3 months or so. So it's kind of a nice way to obviously be able to kind of set some goals and have something to look forward to. I think the biggest thing is it's just, there's so much, I think, carryover from a physical standpoint when it comes to strength. Like, you can't always control, obviously, the various aspects of your life, but you control how hard you're working. And for me, I'm able to do that in the weight room. And when I'm getting bigger and I'm getting stronger, that's a result of my my hard work. So I think there's a big carryover, and I feel really good when I can increase my strength in there. And I think that's really kind of just strength in general has been obviously an important part of just kind of keeping things going.
Do you have any advice for anybody that might go through similar situations with the injury or with a tragedy like that?
Just definitely, not giving up hope. It's not going to be easy. I mean, I knew that right away, that it was going to be hard for a long time, and it's still hard. But what really keeps me going is just the fact that, I have a little brother and little sister, and they're counting on me to keep going.
Yeah.
And whether, you have siblings or whatever it is, you have somebody that's looking up to you, supporting, just kind of keep being that role model. And if you have to fake it a little bit until you make it, that's part of it. But eventually, you're going to get strong enough to keep going, keep doing what you need to do.